Dear friends, today we will meet a princess who is looking for an adventure. Of course, a real adventure, not a tea party. Haha, so our princess hates this fancy life. She'd rather live on the streets. No one understands her, but suddenly she meets a mysterious woman and everything changes. Well, let's check it out. So the royal bell tolled at dawn 2 sharp strikes, announcing the arrival of someone far too important for my liking. Winter clung to the land like a scorned lover, and I had barely shaken off sleep before my ladies-in-waiting descended upon me like vultures. They dragged me through a frigid bath, cinched my corset until my ribs screamed, and left me gasping for air, all for the sake of some powdered prince I couldn't care less about. Winter, cling, 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 go away. Can a girl catch a break? Prince Alric, or Alvin as I take him to calling him in my head, might as well have been a rodent for all I cared. The engagement had been announced 3 weeks ago over breakfast, wedged between my father's musings on trade routes and the wet crunch of his blood orange. It's for your good, he'd said, not even glancing up. He wants a wife. You want a future. A future stitched from desperation, perhaps. Our kingdom was starving, and Eisenfurt had iron and soldiers. We had grain and me. I wanted freedom, not a life tethered to a stranger. The moment Prince Alric strode into the hall, I knew the portraits had lied. His hair was stiff, his smile wilted, and his shoulders were narrower than my patience. A waste of time. But then she stepped in behind him, quiet, unassuming, yet impossible to ignore. Laurel. Her skin glowed like she'd been touched by dawn before the rest of us woke. Her dark hair was carelessly pinned, yet it worked. And her mouth, God, the way it moved. The slow drag of her tongue against her bottom lip, the way her teeth caught the flesh just enough to make my breath hitch. Then the steward announced it, Prince Alric of Eisenfurt, and his wife. I turned so fast my neck cracked. His what? Laurel didn't react. She just lifted her gaze to mine, and something inside me twisted. That night, she was given the chamber adjoining mine, my chamber. Make yourself at home, I muttered, sarcasm my last defense. She said nothing, just shrugged off her coat, revealing a linen shirt stretched over shoulders I tried not to stare at. I failed. Do you always glare at people, or am I just unlucky? I prodded. Silence. Wonderful. A mute. That earned me a flicker of reaction, a mere laugh, a tilt of her head. Then without warning, you talk in your sleep. I bolted upright. You were watching me? You left your mouth open. It was distracting. I hate you. She turned fully then, her gaze breaking over me. But you don't. Later, in the blue dark of night, I woke to the sound of shuffling. Laurel stood at the mirror, her towel slung low on her hips, barely tied. Moonlight traced the curve of her spine, the dip of her waist, the water sliding down her collarbone, and then she caught me watching in the glass. She didn't cover herself, didn't flinch, just held my gaze, fingers teasing the edge of the towel, a challenge. I should have looked away. I didn't. By morning, she was laced back into propriety as if the woman from last night had never existed. Sleep well? She asked too casually. Fine, you tossed. What exactly do you do at night? Watch me like some ghost? I wasn't watching, she said, dipping a cloth into the basin. I just happened to be near the mirror. My stomach dropped. So what? She turned, eyes dark. You should be more careful, Adriana. Mirrors reflect more than you think. A pause, and you were very expressive. The next day, I stole figs from the pantry, sticky, honeyed things, only for Laurel to corner me. Air, I lied, sugar on my lips. Is that what they're calling theft now? Her fingertip brushed the corner of my mouth, collecting the sweetness. Then agonizingly, she slid it between her lips, tongue flicking out to taste. You like figs? She murmured. I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. She stepped closer, caging me against the wall. Tell me to leave. I didn't. The night my father struck me for speaking out, Laurel was the one who cleaned my split lip, her hands shaking. "If I could reveal what I really feel," she whispered, "you'd see how impossible it is to hide." Then her lips hovered over mine. "If I kissed you right now, would you stop me?" I kissed her first. It was hunger, it was fury, it was finally. Her mouth was relentless, her hands mapping me like a territory to conquer. When her teeth grazed my shoulder, I arched into her, nails scraping her back. "Run away with me," she breathed later, tangled in sweat and sheets. "Yes," I said, too fast. She kissed me like she was memorizing the shape of my surrender. Liar. At dawn, she left. "If you see me again," Laurel called from horseback, "it'll mean you've lost everything." Cole pressed a key into my palm. Eastgate. The guards are drunk by noon. I looked at my brother, really looked at the laugh lines he'd earned covering for me, the gray in his temples. "Tell father I'm sorry," I whispered. Then I spurred my mare after her.